Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year. Wow.
For decades, professional sports operated under one simple, unspoken rule. What happened on the court stayed on the court. Players battled for 4 quarters, shook hands when the game ended, and went their separate ways. But those days are gone. We now live in an era where a single post-game interview, social media post, or viral rumor can ignite a massive media storm capable of overshadowing an entire league. And right now, the WNBA has found itself at the center of exactly that kind of chaos. Following Indiana Fever's dominant victory over the Connecticut Sun, the conversation quickly moved away from basketball. Instead, social media exploded with rumors, speculation, and misleading claims involving Brittney Griner and her eligibility to compete in the league. As the controversy spread across the internet, the situation became increasingly toxic. Then Sophie Cunningham entered the conversation with a statement that sent fans into another wave of debate. At the same time, sports media personality Stephen A. Smith addressed the growing controversy and discussed the larger issues surrounding misinformation, viral narratives, and the way online drama can spiral out of control. So how did one basketball game turn into one of the biggest off-court controversies surrounding the WNBA? Let's break down the timeline and examine how a dominant performance on the court was quickly overshadowed by rumors, media chaos, and an internet firestorm.
Defend her for a second, please. There's people in there making noises, they're yelling, they're booing. In her defense, she's never seen fans before. Stephen A. Smith, they've never been at the games. They've never had fans. Now she has crowds, and she's wondering.
She was at Baylor before she came to the WNBA. Trying to tell me there was a fans at Baylor.
All those Baylor Bear basketball games.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
No.
15 years ago.
Women's basketball?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
In college.
College gets their love, man. Come on now.
But not the WNBA. Not the WNBA.
Well, it's growing.
And the best thing that they've ever had in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark.
From a box office perspective.
And by the way, she ain't the first to do this. There's Diana Taurasi. There's Lisa Leslie. There's
Diana
Cheryl
Taurasi is
Swoops.
phenomenal.
Okay.
All of them.
Respect
Cheryl
to
Swoops,
them.
all of them.
All of them. But let's just call
Candace
a spade
Parker,
a spade here.
yeah.
Sure. WNBA's trash.
No,
Straight,
I'm not going to say that.
Okay, this is my opinion.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Okay.
It's a zombie company. It loses money. Nobody's going to the...
To understand how this controversy exploded, we first have to go back to what happened on the court. The Connecticut Sun entered the matchup expecting a competitive and physical battle. Instead, they found themselves facing an Indiana Fever team playing with intensity, confidence, and momentum. The Fever's offense moved the ball effectively, applying constant pressure and making life difficult for the Connecticut defense. Caitlin Clark continued to draw attention from defenders with her court vision and ability to control the pace of the game, while players such as Sophie Cunningham brought energy and physicality to the matchup. Every possession became increasingly difficult for Connecticut. The Sun fought to stay competitive, but Indiana continued to push the tempo and capitalize on opportunities. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Fever had delivered a convincing victory and sent a clear message about their growing presence in the league. But as the players walked off the court and the fans began leaving the arena, few people realized that the biggest story was still ahead. The game itself had only set the stage. What happened after the final buzzer would soon become the center of attention. Following the victory, Sophie Cunningham stepped in front of reporters, cameras, and microphones for the post-game media session. With emotions still high after an intense game, the discussion quickly moved beyond the usual questions about strategy and execution.
Is the worst officiated player in the WNBA. And this right here is what I would say bordering on cheap shot. I don't know if I go full cheap shot from Brittney Griner, because there is a little bit of, you can give benefit of the doubt to Griner here that it's not a cheap shot by saying she's 6'9", and that any moving screen looks like it could be a cheap shot. Unpopular opinion, apparently, according to Caitlin Clark haters, Caitlin flopped here, and this actually was, the refs did a good right job not calling it a foul. So what happened was this. So, Caitlin Clark is playing defense. Brittney Griner lowers the shoulder and clocks her in the jaw. Like, I'm sorry, this is the shit that Conor McGregor did to Cowboy Cerrone that broke his face. Like, she drops her shoulder and then turns it in. Like, that is the only benefit of the doubt that you can give, is that Brittney Griner's 6'9" and maybe she didn't try to clock her in the jaw. But like,
without hesitation, Cunningham stepped directly into one of the most controversial and fiercely debated discussions surrounding women's sports. She made her position clear regarding the issue of protecting the integrity of women's competition and expressed her opposition to transgender athletes competing in the league. She did not soften her words or attempt to avoid the controversy, but this is where the situation took a dramatic turn. The internet quickly removed context from the conversation. Social media accounts, clickbait pages, and online commentators began circulating Cunningham's statements in ways that connected them to Brittney Griner, even though the resulting rumors and claims went far beyond what had actually been said. Within hours, speculation and misinformation began spreading rapidly across social media. What started as a discussion about Cunningham's personal views was suddenly transformed into a much larger controversy involving Brittney Griner and the WNBA. The original conversation was buried beneath viral posts, misleading claims, and increasingly aggressive online narratives, and the situation was
like, maybe this year.
It was growing before she arrived, and then it elevated to another level once she's arrived. And she's not going anywhere anytime soon. And, oh, by the way, remember this name.
Okay.
Juju Watkins.
Okay.
Out of USC.
I seen her. Freshman, great player.
Spectacular. She tore ACL. Tore ACL. In the NCAA tournament last year. You know, she's special. And I'm just telling you, you're going to see the league continue.
Who wins this game? Ready? WNBA All-Star versus the best high school players ABC Nike game. High school Ben versus WNBA player, best players. Who wins?
Here's my response to that. I think it would be the high school, but I would say this to you.
Because you're right.
Don't underestimate women and the growing support they're providing to the WNBA. Remember, anything successful, you usually have the women behind it supporting the product.
Don't underestimate the NBA subsidizing.
The NBA and the NFL
yes.
went to another level once they appealed more to women. What if the women decide we gonna focus and lock in on the WNBA?
No, the NFL started growing once they implemented what's called cheerleaders. And people were like, oh, okay, we'll go to the game. Look at them Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Come on, bro.
You lost
What?
credibility.
How did I lose credibility?
At this point, like, stop the podcast, Brent. Rob, let's just finish it up and go to...
I'm losing credibility.
That's
WNBA
not
hasn't made one penny, but I'm losing credibility.
Let me put it I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
Let me
Using
tell you-
credibility
Zombie
because of a
company.
bizarre statement about the NFL.
Let me tell you what I like. Let me tell you what I like. You know what I like? Here's what I like. I don't care what's going on. I want to see animosity in sports.
Yes.
I don't care what's going on. I love the fact that right now, who's the guy in the heavyweight UFC that's pushing the buttons of John Jones saying, I'm officially the super heavyweight Aspinall. He's saying, I'm officially the super because John Jones has retired. John Jones has retired. John Jones has retired, right? I love animosity. The best fights were Cormier against John Jones. The best fights was Khabib against, Conor. You know, you want that, Mayweather used to fight what weekend? Cinco de Mayo. That was his way. Like, I'm going to take your ass out. So to me, I don't know. I just love the fact that there's animosity. You know what game I want to see the stat line on? You know what game? The next time Fever plays...
This was the moment when a heated sports debate turned into a full-scale media controversy. As the misleading narrative spread, rumors about Brittney Griner began appearing across social media. Posts and videos made unsupported claims about her biology, supposed medical information, and even the future of her basketball career, but it is important to separate verified information from internet speculation. Unverified rumors circulating online should not be treated as established facts, and claims involving alleged private medical records or secret information require credible evidence before they can be accepted as true. Still, the controversy continued to grow. The discussion became so widespread that major sports personalities and media figures eventually entered the conversation, and one of the biggest names in sports media was about to weigh in.
Cunningham said she's not speaking out of hate. She doesn't dislike anyone. She says, quote, I think there's room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone. I can't applaud her enough. This notion that you're hating on the trans community because you are not a proponent of them participating in female sports is utterly ridiculous. Sophie Cunningham said every word right on the money. There's no hate involved. There's only love we're talking about. But what happened to loving girls who are born biologically as girls? What about their rights? What about fairness associated to them? Leah Thomas, I'm going to keep bringing that name up. 400th plus in the world competing as a male. Transitions to female. Name is number one. If we're going to act like transitioning from male to female doesn't involve an advantage for that trans athlete, I have nothing to say to you. You're not exercising common sense. What if a male decided to transition to female? What if an NBA player decided to transition to playing in the WNBA? How elite would they be? How great would they be?
When Stephen A. Smith addressed the controversy, the discussion immediately reached an even larger audience. He spoke about the broader debate surrounding athletes expressing controversial opinions and the intense public reaction that can follow. The situation involving Sophie Cunningham became part of a much larger conversation about free expression, criticism, social media backlash, and the responsibility of media platforms. At the same time, the controversy demonstrated how quickly an online narrative can spiral beyond its original context. Brittney Griner became the subject of speculation and misinformation despite the fact that many of the viral claims circulating online were unsupported. The result was a growing public relations challenge that had little to do with what actually happened during the basketball game, and that may be the biggest lesson from this entire situation. The drama surrounding the league is no longer limited to rivalries, physical games, or post-game comments. Social media can take a single statement, remove the context, connect it to unrelated events, and create a controversy that spreads faster than anyone can control. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever continue to compete on the court, star players continue to generate headlines, and every controversial moment is immediately amplified across the internet. The stakes surrounding the WNBA have never felt bigger, because in today's sports world, the game may end when the final buzzer sounds. But the
minimum flagrant one. And again, when we're talking about this could be, I don't know. Look, I don't know about Brittney Griner's intent here, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, she did the exact same thing as Caitlin Clark did to Veronica Burton. The difference is that she's obviously taller. And is there a level of responsibility that you have to have when you're a little bit taller? Yeah, there is. There absolutely is a greater level of responsibility. If you agree this is some bullshit, subscribe. We are trying to get to 60k as soon as possible. We're on 59.6k right now. Thank you guys so much for all the support, by the way. Like nearly 100 subscribers in the last day. But we gotta be real. This, like, if you're someone that's at a height that you can very easily go and clock somebody in the face, you probably should have to be a bit more careful. But yeah, it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening with Caitlin. That Alyssa Thomas did it to Caitlin in her rookie year as well. Like, this is a knockout blow. Like, I don't mean actually, like, people are like, oh, she tried to hurt her. I wouldn't go as far as say Griner tried to hurt her. I'm going as far as to say Griner tried to send a message from this screen. Like, this is one of these, like, you know, people always say, oh, like the old school hard fouls, like, you better make sure they don't want to come into the area again. That's what Brittney Griner did. Like, there's nothing more than that. Like, this shit happens in basketball. The problem is the referees. Like, this is something that happens, and it's the job of the referees to call it properly. It's the job of the referees to go, okay, this game's gotten a little bit out of hand, and this move is crazy. Like, this move is absolutely crazy. And honestly, just say, fuck it. We let this game get a bit wild. Let's take control again. Let's take control again.
Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Stephen A. Smith entering the debate and discussing the backlash surrounding Sophie Cunningham? And do you think social media has made it too easy for misinformation and misleading narratives to spread about professional athletes? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more coverage of the biggest stories, controversies, and viral moments from the world of sports, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We will continue breaking down the stories behind the headlines and separating the facts from the online speculation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And that's when the situation began to take a dramatic turn.